How do you have a shirt for the National Society of Black Engineers?
This is where we should start right here. I know people. That's
Okay.
how. You know I'm well connected and respected in these streets.
That might be like one of my own clips of you having a 7 download speed. It's ridiculous.
It's never been an issue to this point. So I don't know. This is news. This is all news to me. This is like telling me a blind man he can't see. I've been blind all this time. I don't know no different.
Stevie Wonder can see, by the way.
Allegedly. Yeah, allegedly he can.
I had a friend who was trying to convince me that 100% he can. But I don't know.
Well, he can
Anyway,
100% see.
yeah,
I don't
he's
know if he's
like,
100%.
he has no doubt in his mind that he can see.
I will say though, every blind man I know of, they all got really good taste in women, and I don't think that's a coincidence.
Nah, it's because they be
Come
touching
on,
the wrist.
that has nothing to do with how attractive somebody is.
It's the wrist, man. You can know from the wrist. It's just
No,
like,
you can't.
I mean, it's the same thing as like in the olden days, they wouldn't let women show their ankles because it was too much sex appeal in their ankle. Wrist is the same way.
I don't believe that. I've seen women who weren't that attractive who had skinny wrists. Or
It's not
attractive
about
to
skinny
me.
though. It's
Or had
not
a
about
certain
having a
size
skinny
wrist.
wrist. It's
Whatever.
You gotta feel the bumps. You like it's the tendons going through it. Like they just got that touch
So
of
you
like that feel for it.
so
I
you
don't
saying it's
know
a
it.
science to it. It's not just like
Yeah, absolutely.
okay,
It's absolutely a science.
it's not hit and miss. It's not
Nah.
just oh I touched some. If I feel bones, you good. If I feel fat, you gotta go. It's not that because that's
Mm-mm.
how the movie. That's how
No.
Ray made it seem. That's how that movie made it seem. They was they
Nah.
was really they was really fat shaming. If we gonna keep it a whole bean.
I haven't seen that movie in a while to know or to like remember that, but I'll take your
He would
word
feel
for
on
it.
he would feel on the big girl's arm wrist and be like, mm-mm. And they flash to her. She was big, smiling, and probably a nice woman. Probably a very nice woman. Would have made a great wife and a mother. And Ray was just cringing like she was the ugliest thing ever. And then it was any skinny chick he felt he was cool. So that's why I'm just skeptical of this way of like trying to figure out if somebody's attractive by their wrist. So which leads me to believe they can see a little bit. Cause Stevie Wonder has a daughter that's so cold, bruh. I'm like, how he know her mama was that cold? How he know? He
But
probably can see a little bit.
how do you know it's because his mom was cold just because his daughter cold?
Come on, brother. Come on. Don't be too dense
You
with me
never
today.
you never heard of like two ugly people making a pretty kid? Or like two
That's a
pretty
myth.
people don't
I've
always
never
make a
seen
pretty
that.
kid? I
I've
know.
I've
I do agree with that.
I've
It
never seen two ugly people make a pretty kid. Not to my
what?
knowledge.
You haven't seen Flavor Flav's daughter?
The girl his wife or the girl his baby mama was probably cold, and that's who
I
handled the brunt of the genetic passing on or whatever.
Nah, his the baby mama is New York. Wasn't that her name? I love New York, whatever that show was.
He don't get a kid with New York, do he?
Yeah, but I
He
mean,
don't get
she wasn't cold. So, and their kid is gorgeous.
he didn't have a kid with New York is my point though. I don't think so. I gotta
Okay.
Google this. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure New York doesn't have any kids.
I made that whole story up. I
I
don't
know
know.
you
I was
did.
just
I
trying
was
to think of the
like,
ugliest
if
person I
there's
could think
anybody I
of.
know about is Flavor Flav, it's me. I know what Flav is
Why?
up to.
Why?
I know what
You,
Flav's life is
you
about.
you know all the dealings of Flavor Flav.
Yeah, I pretty much know his life story. So it's like you telling me he got a baby with New York. I'm like, bruh, this is news to me. And I was like, nah, there's no way. Not my Flav, not my homie Flav. He ain't knock her. He do get a lot of kids. Granted, he does have like 7, 8, 9 in that range of kids.
And I'm sure at least one of the 9 is pretty. At least.
But I'm also sure that Flav has good taste in women from Flavor of Love. Judging off that show,
That
he,
was for sure. New York was number 2 though, you know? It was like between her and Hoops, wasn't it?
and for her and Delicious. But I understood both decisions. Hey,
Yeah. Why you gotta
so
lean in? What you about to
because now you get me on another topic.
I know you
We're
about to
not
say
even talking.
speaking of delicious. I know.
No, well, no. Speaking of hoops and delicious, did
Wait,
you?
wait. Like little known fact for everybody, me and the Hoops got the same birthday. Just an FYI. I also share.
Nobody. That's
I
what your
also
interesting fact.
and we also share a birthday with Bill Cosby. So hey,
This is terrible. This is really going off the rails. That's what you.
I just had to throw that out there. You know,
So you're a
I
creep
mean,
too.
I share good space on my birthday.
Good with Bill. I don't know if that's too.
We're just like forget the last 10 years. But before that, that was great. Last decade.
I can't co-sign none of this. I do. The opinions of Kyle Walker belong to him and him alone.
Cancers, stand up.
But no, I was gonna say that Hoops and Delicious are both from Detroit. So
Are
tell
they?
Pastor Leon if he knows of any women that look like the caliber of those two women, he might be able to talk me into making a move up there. So you get that message back to him.
They say that Detroit is supposed to be like one of the prettiest cities for black women, or the best cities for like pretty
This
black
is another
women.
favorite subject of mine. So I've made the list, Kyle. It's
Okay.
yeah. The list is Houston is number 1, and it's by a lot.
Okay.
It's by a lot. It's really not as close as they making it. Houston is like, I'm pretty convinced my wife is in Houston.
Mm.
I'm like pretty certain. So it's Houston, DC.
I'm
Houston,
convinced your wife is
DC.
in Scandinavia, but whatever.
I don't think so. But Houston, DC, Atlanta, Detroit. And then 5th is kind of not well, yeah. 5th is like it's a fight between Cleveland. No, Cleveland is it's on that list. Cleveland, New
I'm
York. You get
I'm not saying you wrong. I'm just laughing at this list. Period.
Cleveland,
Just
New
the fact
York,
that you've made
Chicago.
it.
Cleveland, New York, Chicago, and I guess you can throw LA, but I don't ever kind of rope black women in with LA. But it's attractive, like obviously, but I don't rope them in there. So you can kind of debate it out between those few cities. But those are top 4, and Houston is number 1 by
Can
far.
can LA count? Like, isn't LA more like a everybody come in? Like, it's not really like homegrown LA people. I mean, there are, but I feel like a lot of people go to LA and they're from these other places.
That's you could say the same about Atlanta for real. But yeah, that's a possibility. But it's also a lot of homegrown LA women that are, I'm sure that are you'll go and be like, oh, hey there, how you doing? I'm Earl. Yeah, but Houston, I'm scared to go. I get emotional thinking about Houston. I do. I get really emotional. I get choked up. I get really like, whew, I gotta breathe. We might have to take 5 real quick and let me gather myself and come back and we can move on. But man. But I've
Uh,
heard good things about Detroit though. Too bad you haven't been able to show me around where this is at, this alleged, people are, but
I don't
yes,
get
I
out
have
much.
heard. I've
I
heard good
don't.
things about Detroit.
I don't go out and do things. It's not my thing. I stay at
Yeah,
home.
you married and washed up. Yeah, I get it.
I wouldn't say I'm washed up because I still be pulling them. You hear me? I'm playing. Don't listen to that part,
I'm
Pastor
telling.
Leon. Pastor, just pray for me. Just pray for me. Um,
That's why you want me up there to look after you.
um, I I think it's established that you're not the person that can look after me. I need somebody who's not gonna be doing the same things that I would do.
I wouldn't. I don't ever. I never encourage my friends into any of my foolishness. I'm always like, no, be better than me. I do this so you don't have to do this. That's the friend I am. That's usually the friend I am. I'm like, don't be like
It's
me.
like
You be better than me.
have you ever seen Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story? It's
It's been a
like
while, but I know what you're
it's
talking about.
it's like the dude. I can never remember actors' name, and it's especially bad when it's black actors, and I can't remember their name because it's not that many. But the dude who plays Leon Phelps, the dude who plays the ladies' man,
Oh
whatever,
yeah, I know you. Okay, yeah, I do. Yeah, I know you're talking about. I forget his name.
and
Tim. It's
it's
Tim something.
some yeah, but like through that whole movie, he, he's like doing all this illicit stuff, and then Dewey like walks in, and he's just like, "No, Dewey, don't do this, Dewey. You don't want to be a part of this, man." And he's like smoking weed or something, and then like Dewey is just like asking all these
I
questions.
know
He's
what you're
like,
talking.
but is it habit for me?" He was like, "No, it's not habit for me. But you don't want any part of this, man." And then it like escalates all the way up to crack. And he's like, "You don't want any part of this, man." And every time he's like explaining, "These are all the positives about it, but you don't want to do it." And then they do it together. It's funny. I got one more thing to say that has nothing to do with what you were talking about, but it's related to Houston. But
Okay.
I want to welcome everybody to the podcast. We haven't really figured out a name yet. We
Yeah, it's
said
the
it's gonna be Say
untitled. We'll
What
name this
Now?
podcast later, but we said that's too it's too corny.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Because I think like when we came up with it in the moment, we are like, yeah, that's great. And then we like let it settle for a little
Yeah,
bit. We're like,
man.
that's pretty whack. Like we could come up with something better than
It's
that.
pretty awful.
Um, so yeah, I'm your host, Kyle.
I'm Valerian Riddle. Should I get my full government? I don't know if I want to. I did though. It's too late. But yeah, I'm Valerian.
I
I'm here.
mean, I don't think it matters. I feel like everybody else uses their government name for podcasts, so I don't think it's a big
Yeah, I'm
deal.
here. I'm here, baby.
But you can be V Bear. That's what we all called them in college.
No,
Um,
we all didn't.
yeah,
No, we. There is no
everybody called
we.
him that.
There is no
Even
we. It's
like
a
even
you.
his like all his social media handles were like V Bear the Problem, and now he
No, it
just
was
goes by
never V.
Valerian Riddle. So
No, it's
it
never
is
been V
it
Bear,
is what
guys.
it is.
Ever, ever, ever. There was a brief moment when I think I had a sugar Instagram name named Sugar Bear. I think at one point for like a month. But that was it. That's it. That was all.
Was that before or after some? Nah, I'm not gonna go there. I'm sorry.
What?
I
Go
was I was gonna say, was that before or
ahead.
after um they said you look like a squirrel on the Black Twitter OU page?
That happened very early that happened like freshman year. They
Right.
said Stuart Little. They called
Stuart
me
Little? I
Stuart
thought it was
Little.
a squirrel.
Maybe that
Maybe
too, but they definitely called me Stuart Little on one of them pages. I think I know who was behind it, but I'm not gonna say on the show. But I think I have I'll tell you off air. I think I know who was behind
It caused so much strife.
it. A lot. It was just a lot of childish stuff going
Just
on
so
that
unnecessary.
freshman year, especially. Like every
That
year after that was pretty drama free, but freshman year was like we were wilding.
I think that's what scared me away from the black community. If it wasn't if it wasn't I just don't do drama. Like I just can't handle it. And it was nothing but drama my whole freshman year.
But what's
And
funny is
then
everybody. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. What are you about to say? I don't want to mean to cut you
nah,
off.
say what you was about to say.
No, what's funny when I run into people now and I like they'll ask about you and everybody has the same like Kyle was so nice. He was just always really nice. I think people respected that you stayed out of the drama. So just for
Mm,
the record, yeah.
that's good.
Anyway, back to what were you about to say?
Um, okay, back to Houston. So
Yeah,
really random, but I was like, you remember that song I told you and Trey about, Purple Stuff?
I
And it was
forget.
like
Yeah, probably, but I don't remember.
purple
Yeah.
stuff, purple, whatever. So I showed y'all the video, and y'all were like, that was the demise of me. Like when I saw that video as a kid, that's when I started going downhill into just the term that we used was coonery at the time. Um, I'm ashamed of that now. We used to throw coon around so flippantly.
Frivolously, just any little misstep.
Anyway,
I don't even. That's not even in my vocab right nowadays. Not really.
no, not at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's so funny.
but so when I was doing research for our podcast and was like looking up different names to see are there other podcasts like Say What or like Say What Now. So I
Hmm.
found one, and this dude he like interviewed Slim Thug. This is like a long trail. So interviewed Slim
Okay.
Thug. The other day I had just listened to that song Purple Stuff again just because I wanted to hear it because
Is
I
that
bought
by
a.
Slim Doug?
It's not by Slim Thug. It's by this dude named Big Mo
I think I've
who
heard of Big Mo. Maybe.
um but it's like all these Houston people, and they were all like in this collective group together
Right.
called, I think it's
Swisher
like,
House.
no, not Swisher House. It's different. Um, anyway, I bought a purple pillow. Amazing, by the way. I can't wait until they're sponsoring this podcast because it
Is
is
it? That's the
amazing.
brand Purple, right?
Yeah,
There's a brand. I've heard of. Okay, I have heard of it. Yeah. So that pillow that
it's
great?
so amazing.
Wow. I'm about to look into it.
Um, okay, I'm trying to
I'm at
find
that
this
age where I'm
picture.
always looking for new
So it's
pillows.
called the SUC Click.
Hmm.
Huh?
I didn't say anything.
You said what?
I didn't say anything.
It's called the SUC Click, and he was interviewing Slim Thug about it. So I'm like, what is SUC? Because I never heard of that. So all that is like Big Mo was in that, and like DJ Screw, all these people that like started chopped and screw music in Houston.
Right.
So I'm looking at it, and on the members, like on Google, they got George Floyd was one of the members of the SUC Click, and I'm just like, who
That's
did
not
that? Like,
funny, but
I was cracking up though. Like, who did? Who put George Floyd in the SUC?
this isn't funny. But it's funny though. It is. Man, he from Houston, so it's possible.
I
He is from
doubt it.
Houston.
Wait, he was from Houston?
Yeah, he's from down there. Yeah.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that at all.
And
Okay,
if he's
maybe.
not directly from Houston, he's from Port Arthur, Texas. Well, I think that's. Let me Google it. But I'm pretty sure he's from Houston. No, he is from Houston. He's from actual Houston. I'm about to Google it right now though. But I'm pretty sure he's from Houston. But then he moved up to like Minneapolis like later on in life.
Mm.
Um.
But yeah, it's like a whole bunch of people. Like Lil Flip is in that group.
Hmm.
Zero, Those are the only people that I know. Lil Kiki, I think I heard of him before. But yeah, and apparently George Floyd.
He did move. Yeah, he moved. He's not originally from Houston, but he moved there from middle school. Yeah, he lived in Houston for a while. He had ties. I did know that. Yeah. So
All right,
yeah,
maybe he is in the SUC Click.
yeah.
I think that was a terrible name that they came up with
What did it
because
stand for? Anything?
SUC is the screwed up click.
Oh, I have heard of screwed up click. Yes, I have heard of that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but if you just do SUC click, it's just like suck click, and I'm like, it's a terrible name to call yourself. It's horrible.
Yeah.
All right, we have gone on such a tangent.
We have, but just know I'm getting down to Houston at some point, but I'm afraid. I'm just not ready. But that's neither here nor there.
So, are you afraid because you think that you're gonna find somebody and settle down, and you don't want to settle down yet,
No, that's no, come on,
or
brother.
that you'll
No,
find too many that you'll want to settle down or not settle down? You scared of being a hoe? Is that what I'm hearing?
no.
Okay.
That's not. Those are not the fears. Although that's valid, I think there it is. Has a possibility of happening in Houston, from what I've seen so far up to this point. But I'm just afraid. I'm really afraid for my family. Because I'm afraid I'm gonna run into Beyonce's cousin, who's gonna be just as fine, if not finer. I'm gonna bring her back to the cookout in Ohio. My uncle ain't never seen a woman this fine. He gonna go into diabetic shock, and so it's really like it's just a lot that comes with that. I gotta ease myself and my family into all that because that's just a different. It's just different. It's a whole different. My family gonna be like looking at me like I'm selling drugs or something. Like how you get
Mm.
what? How you pull her? And I'm like, I just been in Houston, baby. So yeah, that's kind of some dude on
Mm.
Twitter told me. It was a dude on Twitter that told me it's a girl that looked like Megan Thee Stallion. That's the manager of Whataburger. That's like one of the big fast food chains in Houston. He said you can find a chick that's just look just like her at Whataburger. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh.
That's so true though. I feel like that's true of like everything, not even when it comes to like attractive people. Like I like probably the best rapper is flipping burgers right now. The best rapper ever,
Probably.
just because they just never had the opportunity.
Yeah, possibly.
No,
All
I'm
right.
playing. Okay, that's enough of that. Um, Move on. Uh, Dessert of the week. What's your dessert of the week this week?
I don't know. This is your segment. This is all you. I don't. This is all your segment, bro. You get this.
Like
This is all.
this legit. I'm actually glad that we're gonna do this, like a dessert of the week, because it like when I saw that you put that, it actually made me really excited because I'm like, oh, now I like legitimately have to have a dessert every week. So like I have to plan
If
this
I would
out
have
and be
known, this is
thorough.
what. Oh my gosh. So what is it? This
Um
is your. This is all you.
the dessert of this week has been key lime pie.
Okay. Pretty.
See,
That's pretty. Pretty.
it's most of my stuff is simple. Like you
Pretty
don't.
tame for your standards. It
It's,
is. That's pretty
like I
pretty
said, I'm
vanilla,
not.
for lack of a better term, for what you
mm,
would normally go compared to what sugar cookie Dunkaroos. I mean, come on. This is a step down for you.
that okay, whatever.
Key lime pie is like,
Um,
I'm kind of disappointed, honestly. Like, I was really excited. I thought you had like some real like, I don't know,
I like
like
some
snickerdoodle Oreos or something.
kiwi and papaya pie
Yeah, you probably have
and
had that in the
and
past.
some apple jalapeno apple pie.
Probably have already had that. But yeah, I was thinking something in that vein, something more exotic. But
No,
it's fine.
see, and it,
How was this key
but
lime
this is the
pie?
point.
How was it?
This is the point that I want to like everybody to know because you were making it seem like I'm so ridiculous, but it's really just simple. Like it's just every once in a while, or maybe I make it a mission to find those limited edition everything.
I know you
Like
do. It's not just. It's not a maybe. It's a.
like I said, like
It's a.
I'm waiting for them Pillsbury sixes to drop. I think that's coming out like September 25th, I do believe.
I know. I know your time to shine though is like Thanksgiving on, like the holiday season. I can't wait for that time frame. It's gonna be like
Why
the
is that
best
the time?
because all the
Nah,
desserts come out, drop around. That's when all the desserts
I
really
I
drop.
actually don't like that time because that's the time for like pumpkin everything, and I don't care for that
No,
stuff.
that's post pumpkin. I'm talking like when the sweet potato pies and all that. But it's just like Thanksgiving. You could cook any cake you want, really. Then Christmas, you could really go ham with the cookies. You could bake all types of cookies around Christmas. It's a really creative time on the dessert tip.
But again, I'm pretty simple. Like snickerdoodle, Italian cream cake is my favorite cake, but we'll get to that at another day. That's enough for the dessert
Yeah.
of the week.
How was the ski lime pie though?
Oh, it's delicious. It's like
Where'd you get it from?
um I there were some pies on sale, so I bought two more. I didn't
Where
get
at?
four this
At
time.
Costco?
And no, this was a Meyer, just local
Okay.
grocery store.
Okay.
It's not. I'm really not that ridiculous.
You said that it was on sale like that was like that you after that you couldn't resist it from then on. Once you the
I
sale is
I
what
mean, I
got you.
only really buy them when they are on sale. And like
Oh,
this
okay.
brand of pie specifically is
Mm,
Marie Callender in the frozen section.
mm,
I know it doesn't sound like much, but they're amazing. If you're ever out at the
mm.
grocery store, pick you up a Marie Callender's, friend of the podcast. Um, I can't wait to meet
Indeed,
her.
indeed.
I'm single-handedly keeping her in business. I grew up eating her pies. Like I like all pie. It doesn't matter. Like a savory. Like they had a shoot. It was like a something like a bacon, cheese, and cheddar pot pie. So
Mm.
good. Anyway, speaking of food though, uh, I sent you that article about the man who found a nipple in his McDonald's sandwich.
A pig nipple.
A pig nipple.
Hmm.
So it's some dude in like across the pond, so they say. He vowed
That
that
probably
he
was
would
the issue.
never. You said what?
That probably was the issue right there. You don't go to McDonald's across the pond. You only go to McDonald's in America.
Have you had McDonald's overseas before?
No, but I do know that they have a much like it tastes different, and their standards for food is and everything are much stricter. So like I'm sure all their ingredients are way more like real than the ingredients here. So I feel like you need to go to McDonald's here because the standards is way less. Does that make sense?
Mm, that's that sounds horrible.
That's
Wait,
why
so you think the
that's
U.S.
why the
standards of
nipples is
food
getting
are
kind
like,
of they're awful.
uh,
The
I didn't know
FDA.
that. Yeah, I mean, I thought that they were like pretty good in the world standards of food.
I mean, we ain't a third world country, but we also are not like, it's all the GMOs and all that. We're not like all the like Britain and all those other places. They're way more strict when it comes to food. Like, so their ingredients are a lot more natural, which is that's good on the health tip, but that's not good in the scheme of fast food. Like, process it up for me, baby. I want my fast food processed. Don't give me all that. I don't need organic fast food. I didn't come for that. I didn't come for that. I came for some
So,
processed potatoes and burgers and meat, all
s-
that. I want to be able to take a blowtorch to my burger and nothing happen to it.
you want it to sit out for 2 months and it's still
Exactly.
fresh.
And it looked the same as when I first got it. It might be a little stale because bread gets stale, but that's it. Other than that, it looks the same.
Because all that means is it's providing more energy in your body because it's staying in there longer. So I get
Thank
that.
you. It's
You gotta
curing
eat
world
less.
hunger,
You
is what
gotta
it's
eat
doing.
less often.
It's curing hunger, is what it's doing.
Mm, I like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you're saying that's the reason why this man saw a pig nipple because the meat wasn't
Yeah.
processed yet.
Yeah. He gets, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And it
All
wouldn't be
right,
processed because Britain, they don't do all like a whole bunch of processing stuff. So you
but it's
probably get that
bacon
pig.
though.
You probably get that pig like right off the shelf. Like that pig was fresh out. It wasn't even going through the factory. It might have just came straight from the butcher. So that was a human error. A robot wouldn't have made that mistake.
Anyway, so what, whatever it is, I think like it just brings up so many questions. So I'm gonna put the picture up so everybody can see it. But my first question is like he said this is what made him think about going vegan, and like he's thinking like that's absolutely what he's gonna do because he saw this nipple in his sandwich. So it's like, is it the nipple that made him like think or like humanize this pig? Because then he was like quoted saying, I know I can find a nipple in pork belly, but I didn't ask for a pork belly roll. I asked for a bacon sandwich. I don't dare eat it, but I did eat the rest of the roll. So he like took that one piece of bacon out, but still ate the rest. And I'm like,
Why are
so
you
he just
complaining?
he just he just took the nipple out.
Why he gotta go vegan now? This is all rash because he clearly is like part of the problem now. He is an accomplice to the crime at this point. He
And it's
is.
like, so they like, I guess a McDonald's rep responded and was like, nah, you're wrong because we don't even cut our bacon from that portion of the pig. Like our bacon is cut from the back. It's not cut from the belly. So that's not a nipple. So I don't know what it is that this dude saw. But it does look like a nipple. But it's just weird.
I
But
didn't
my
see the
other question
picture.
is like, huh?
I didn't see the pic. Oh, you said you're gonna. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Go ahead.
Wait,
What you
you
about to say?
didn't? It's
I
in
didn't
the
see the
link.
picture. Oh,
That
I
means you
didn't
ain't look
actually.
at the link.
No, I did. I read
Mm,
the
mm,
article. I didn't
mm.
look at the picture though. I kind of skimmed it anyway. I
So
just
I so from the picture,
hold on. I'm about to pull it up.
my biggest question is who puts ketchup on bacon?
Ew,
That's disgusting.
ew.
It's literally just a sandwich. Like it's bread, bacon, ketchup. Like that's disgusting. Cause who would ruin bacon in such a way? It's delicious.
Ew. Okay, I see the little nipple poking out. I mean, is that a nipple? Maybe it is. I don't know.
I honestly, it just looks like a piece of fat that like bubbled up a little bit.
Yeah, it don't
Like,
look.
and it just looks like regular bacon, but his sandwich had a nip slip.
The Brits got weird food in general. Like they got weird food things in general. Like ketchup on bacon is kind of redundant, really. A lot of salt.
What? Is ketchup salty?
A little bit. I mean, sweet and salty. Kind of like, I don't know, some sodium in there. I know.
Now I got more questions.
It just don't. I've
What?
never thought to put those two together, so I don't know. Well, no. I've had bacon on a burger and had ketchup on that burger, but that's different, I guess,
Yeah,
huh?
that's different. It's like that bacon was accenting the burger and the ketchup the
True.
burger. This is literally
True.
just ketchup on bacon on a
That's true.
sandwich. Like, I think there was something already off with the dude, but maybe that is a British thing. I have heard that they're not
They got
known for
weird.
having good cuisine. Like, they're not known for having good
No,
food.
I know when I go there, I'm gonna be at either the McDonald's complaining about they McDonald's or just like grocery shopping and making my own food whenever I go to Britain. Because I'm not eating nothing they got. I'm not eating beans for breakfast. They do. They eat beans and toast. Who does that?
About only thing that they're even known for is like fish and chips, probably.
That is a thing. And chips? Do you know they call French fries chips over there?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what the
Yeah,
chips are.
I know, but it's still something I get when I told you I worked. Well, I don't know. Well, the listeners might not know, but I worked at some camps in college, and I always would work with like kids from the UK. And when we would
Mm.
go out to eat, they would be like, "Ooh, I want some chips," and I was like chips, like Lay's, Pringles. They're like, "No, fries." Oh, y'all call them we call them French fries. Y'all call them chips. I'm like, "Oh, okay." They got a bunch of other weird sayings, but yeah, great
Yeah,
group of
like
people.
bloody hell.
Hey, if we're going international, London, UK, black women over.
All right, sorry for the technical difficulties. My computer cut off, but we're back. So Valerian was just talking about uh women in London. I was thinking you were saying women in London, but I didn't know. Something about London
I
though.
was indeed. I was just gonna say international. If we speaking internationally, it's like Houston, London, DC, Atlanta, but that's neither here nor there. And Ghana as well, but that's neither here nor
Have you
there.
been to London?
I want to go. I was supposed to go 2 years ago. Well, no, a year ago, and then COVID happened.
I
And
remember that. I forgot all about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
Um, but it's on the list.
All right.
I'm not as
Okay, I'm gonna just
passionate.
I was just gonna go.
Oh, I was just gonna say I wasn't. I'm not as passionate about London as Houston, though.
Okay.
Anyway,
Um
you're
so
you just.
I, I was just gonna glaze over that completely. um so what would it take for you to go vegan? That's
What would it
Would you
take?
ever consider it?
Nah.
Like if you saw a nipple in your sandwich, would you go vegan?
I just would stop eating that wherever I got the nipple at. If that happened that. Or I would just commit more to cooking my own food, which is kind of what I do now anyway. So I probably
Mm,
would, but I don't know if I'd ever go fully vegan. I might, maybe I'd go vegan or vegetarian in little spurts. Like, okay, I'm gonna go without meat for a few weeks. I could do that. I could see myself doing that. But permanently, no. I can't see. And
mm.
vegan is that's even more than vegetarian because I always get vegetarian and vegan mixed up. But vegan is like even more strict than vegetarian. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
No
that's
animal byproducts whatsoever.
like no eggs, no like dairy products. Which the only
Nothing.
dairy products I really eat is eggs, honestly. And I put milk in my eggs, but that I don't know if that so that's like it's like one.
Eggs are not dairy. Eggs are not dairy.
They're not.
Okay, this might be the last podcast episode, guys.
They're not. I
No,
thought
how would
eggs
they
were
be
dairy.
dairy? How?
I don't know what constitutes dairy. Let's define dairy first.
Dairy is anything that comes from the milk of a like a
Uh,
mammal.
okay. Are eggs dairy? I'm about to Google this now. So
Cause they
eggs.
sometimes like I was gonna say milk from a cow, but they sometimes consider like goat milk dairy or something.
Oh, they are dairy. Well, milk is eggs are still in. Good. Okay, I could do it then.
I
Cheese.
mean, eggs are still vegan. It comes from a chicken.
Right.
Did you just
Oh, they're
forget
not
that?
vegan. Oh, so they're not
Oh,
vegan.
well, eggs are
Okay.
from a
So yeah.
cow, so they must come from a tree. Tree
Whatever.
eggs. Those are called nuts.
So no, to answer your question, no. I'm frustrated now, and I'm not going vegan. It's too many rules already. It's already too many rules.
Uh, but that's like the path to enlightenment. If you
Is it?
that's nah, I feel like that's what people think. Like
They definitely
what
do.
once you're like elevated to like this certain spirituality or whatever, then like
Hmm.
you gotta go vegan because
And then you
you're
become
put
a
it.
sorry, because you
But then
vegan.
nah, I wouldn't say that. They just I don't know. It depends on the kind of vegan
Maybe it's
you
my
are.
own insecurities I'm projecting onto them. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe that's it.
I mean, I thought you meant like those people that are like then start judging everybody else's plate
That's
and
what
being
I'm
like,
saying.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, nah, there are those, I'm sure. I'm speaking as if I'm a vegan. I'm not. I would never do it. I was actually trying to think of what would make me do it, and long story short, no. Like a cow would have to come speak to me directly. Like while I'm mid bite, it just like stop. No. Like it would have to speak to me
With
in
his
English
family. Not just
with
it.
his
It would have to
family.
have like a kid next to it too.
It would also have to have like the chunk of meat that I'm currently eating like out of it. Like I would need to see that. Like 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 doubting Thomas, like touch the holes in my hand. Like I need to see. That's the only way I can stop being a meat eater.
That's
Red Robin is
hilarious.
Red Robin is way too good. Like,
Red Robin is good. I ain't had it in a while, but it's never a bad time at Red Robin. And them unlimited fries, baby.
s-
Oh man.
mm, especially I
Mm.
like during the pandemic, I started to experience steak. Like now I've like started like buying some steaks at the store and I've like made them learning how to like cook steaks well. I'm I like steak now. Like I never grew up
Steak
on
is
steak. We
great.
didn't eat a lot of red meat, but it's great. Steakhouses, those are my restaurants now.
You
They're
bougie.
expensive though. Yeah, kind of. But not fully. Not yet. I think I can see myself getting there. I think like expensive steakhouses are overrated, but that's a different story.
Uh,
Um, but this brings me another question. So what was the worst food like discovery that you've had? Like what's the worst thing you found in your food?
oh, that's a good question. Uh, I've never had like I guess maybe a piece of hair, but I don't. Nothing stands out in particular. I've never really had a terrible like, oh, somebody had such and such. Nah, maybe it's just some hair, but I don't remember when though.
That's
But I
it?
think That's really it, I think. I'm trying to think. One time I cooked some chicken that was bad. That was a unpleasant surprise. But that
Like
wasn't.
you went to eat it and it was bad, or
Yeah, and then I
uh
like started pulling it apart, and I was like, "Ugh, this is not good." I think I
mm,
left it in the fridge a day too long or something, and it was
mm.
just it wasn't good. But I caught it, but I didn't really eat
That
that. I
being
caught it before I
said,
ate it.
I think I'm
But
mm, I think
I
I'm
think you.
over chicken, by the way.
Oh, I'm never leaving chicken. But that's
I think I've had enough of chicken.
you want to talk about
But
vegan, not going vegan. This is because of chicken. It's not because of the cow. It's that chicken that's got a hold on me.
I think maybe I'll say I think I'm sick of homemade chicken. I still like chicken when I go out, like
You tired of
getting
cooking
some,
it.
huh?
You tired of cooking chicken, basically, is what you're saying?
No, it's just like I don't know. Like I was getting like a lot of chicken breast over like the
That's the
pandemic and
worst part of
cooking a lot of
chicken. No
that.
wonder you hate chicken.
Uh,
You
but
eating literally the worst part. Nobody eats
I
breast. Mm,
I I like those better. Like
what?
even when I go to like a fast food joint, like if I
Mm.
go to KFC or Popeyes, like I'm getting crispy titties. Like that's what I want. Like I don't want the wings. I don't want the thighs
Why
because
are
it's
you
just
calling them titties?
it's the most bang
Where are
for your buck.
people? We should start a restaurant and start calling chicken titties. Our world famous chicken titties.
People would go just for the name. That's one of those things.
Yeah. Why hasn't nobody done that yet?
I feel like they have. We just don't know about it.
Maybe
Like how you
not.
like when you tried to start Chicken Shack at OU.
I don't know what I was thinking.
But then I
Honestly,
moved up here and there's like a whole chain called Chicken Shack.
is there? And why haven't I been yet? Or have I been?
You have. You came up here like when I first moved up here, you came up here and
Oh, I
uh
remember.
we
Yeah,
went
yeah.
and
It
it
was.
was nothing to remember. That's why you
It
don't
wasn't.
remember
I
it.
remember. Yeah, I know what you're
It's
talking about.
it's really
Yeah,
bad.
yeah,
I don't know why
yeah.
there's so many of them.
Uh,
Michigan low key sucks for food.
it's not a
Like
foodie spot, huh?
I mean, there are some places, but it's like, I mean, they have like good soul food joints and like some like weird twists on food, just like random stuff. But in general, like it sucks. Like all they have is Coney Islands up here, and they all are trash. Like I can't tell somebody from Michigan that because that's like fighting words. But Coney Islands are
They
garbage,
do get that a very like probably the best pizza chain, Jets. Jets is great. I like Jets.
which is what.
Have you
Oh
that's
yeah,
pizza.
Jets
Their
is
pizza
good.
chain. Jets is really good because they got Jets here. That's how I found out
Several
about it.
Yeah, several pizza joints started in like Metro Detroit. So like
I remember you
Jets,
telling
Little
me.
Caesars, um, not Pizza Hut, Hungry Howie's.
Oh, word.
I think something else. But anyway,
We should have bought some stock in Hungry Howie's all the times we ate there. Man,
right,
a lot of Hungry Howie nights. A lot.
every Wednesday.
The whole perk though was because I knew I'd have leftovers. It was like, all right, I'm really getting this for tomorrow.
Right. The struggles of college, man. Not having money. So
Man, so I don't know how I was like. I'll look back on that time. I don't know how I made it day to day or whatever. It was so man. I'd have $11 to my name.
remember when I was like our last year when I was like extra broke and like
Yeah, you was working.
I
Was
had
it
nothing.
when you was working as a delivery driver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you were like, Kyle, so what if I buy groceries and you just cook everything for me? but you was like, yeah, but you eat too, but you like just cook all our meals. And you were just like so gung ho about it. And I was just like, let me think about it. But in the back of my mind, I was like, hell no, I'm not doing that. 'Cause I'm like, this isn't I don't
That
know.
was
It
a
was
great
like
deal. I don't know. Even now, I'm like, that was a great deal.
no, it wasn't. Not for me. Because I don't know if that was before or after you had told me, Kyle, I think you would make a good house husband. And I'm like, how am I supposed to take that? And you was like, nah, I mean it as a compliment though. I'm like, what? How was that a compliment? Even though that's like kind of what I've become. So
See, I'm
y- you were
I'll
like
tell the
you know
future.
how to like keep a house together. Like you're a good homemaker and or what. And I'm like, I am. I'll admit that. Geneva raised me to be that way.
It was see that toxic masculinity had a hold on you, my brother, and you wasn't able to receive the message that I was giving. But look at you now.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I be predicting the
Whatever.
future, bruh. I do. I be telling people they lives. I should start like a Miss Cleo service or something, but that's neither here nor
Um
there.
for the record, this episode is a train wreck. Like it's all over the place. Like
I think it's great though. What's funny? I'm like, oh, it's great. It's flowing naturally. But we haven't talked about nothing we'd say we were going to talk
nothing.
about.
besides the nipple sound.
Beside the nipple, that's it. That's really it. I don't even know how long
Uh
we've been recording. I mean, or like
I don't
overall.
either. I mean, we've been back on this for like 16 minutes.
Right.
So
The other one is like, I don't even know.
whatever. We
Yeah.
shouldn't be taking out time to talk about that. Anyway,
Hey, on a side note, unrelated. So your hair right now, to me, it looks like one of them Tyler Perry movie wigs.
I hate you.
Dude, like I know it's your hair, but it just don't look like it's your hair. It looked like you just playing another character, and that's the wig that Tyler has gave you to play this character.
I'm Shamar Moore.
You gonna save some woman with 2 kids though, eventually. You about
I
to.
wouldn't. I'm too dark skinned to be the savior. I'm gonna be the one beating her in the
You about
beginning.
to. You about to save.
Nah.
You about to save a nice single mom. You about to be a good step
I'm
daddy.
not. No,
Don't
I'm
you?
like dead serious. Every Tyler Perry movie, it's a dark skinned dude who's the bad guy. And then this is light skinned dude who come and sweep her off her feet and like protect her and stuff. Hey, I would be cast as the dark skin. Even though I'm not that dark, but they always like Michael Ealy or like Boris Cujo, like high yellow.
All oiled up too.
with a wig. Lord forbid, they can't be bald. That's ridiculous. I think like I really feel like it was Idris Elba was like the only one who played the good man role.
Lance Gross did, but he got done wrong.
I don't
So
know.
that only furthers your theory because Lance Gross got done wrong in his movie. His wife cheated on him, and then she caught HIV, and they broke. It was like she did Lance all wrong. He was a good dude, but dark skin, and she cheated on him. The dude she cheated on him
What
was
movie
lighter
was
than
that? Was that the really ridiculous? I mean, I'd stopped watching his movies by that point, so I don't. I think
What's
I
the
know what
name
you're
of
talking
that one?
about.
I think it's either the family that prays. No, I don't know if it's a family. I don't think it's a family that prays. But
Nah,
it's.
wasn't it? I thought it was the one where like uh
I'm about to Google it.
when I thought it was the one where it was like it was just they were married and then this other dude like came in and like
Yeah,
started
swept her.
yeah, that I don't
Oh,
remember the name of it.
Temptation. It was called
Temptation,
Temptation.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The family that prays is another. That's another joint. But yeah, yeah. Lance got done all wrong
Yeah.
on that one.
Either way, the dude who was the bad guy was still dark skinned, from what I remember. Or was it a light skinned dude? Maybe that was his movie that like I need to reverse this narrative that I've set for
Nah, the
Tyler
dude
Perry
he was
Studios.
kind of like your complexion. The dude who was the bad guy. He wasn't light, but he wasn't dark skin. He was brown. He's in the middle. But
Mm,
he did it wrong. He did her wrong. Then she did Lance wrong because she was cheating. It was just, but it's always something ridiculous. Just like, bruh, this probably never happened in real life. Or it happened once in real life. Yeah. It's, uh, anyway, um,
summer trip recap. All right. Yeah. How was Philly? You
um,
so you spent like a month in Philly, right?
yeah, over a month. Yeah, man. I was there for like 40 days and 40 nights and fasting and prayer in
Okay.
Philly. Uh, um, nah, yeah, I was there for a minute and just I was staying in the city, uh, like right in the heart of everything. So it was cool. I told like we kind of talked before, but I don't know. I think it was an itch I needed to scratch because I've always wanted to live on the East Coast and live in like the city or whatever. So it was kind of like a way for me to see what that would be like in a short term way without really, necessarily committing to it. And
Yeah.
it was cool. Like there was aspects of it I liked, but also it kind of was just kind of like I don't know. I think I'm always like I feel like the theme of my life is always like the grass is never really greener anywhere. It's only green where you decide to like water it and actually decide to just, make whatever of it whatever you want to make of it. Because I think I went there expecting some, I don't know, some crazy experience or some type of like epiphany to happen while I don't know. But that was just unrealistic. But it was still cool. It was still cool to do that. It was still cool to say I did it and to get out there and to travel and to kind of be on the East Coast and get a feel for what that would be like living there. But it wasn't like life changing or anything like that. Like I don't know. I think that's what I expected. So I think
Mm.
maybe my expectations might have been unrealistic. But yeah. What about you? How was Colorado? You finally been out
Wait,
there without
no.
me. Oh, we get questions. My bad.
I got a question. Yeah.
Okay.
So like what do you think you were expecting that just didn't meet up?
I think what I was expecting was I think I was expecting things to like open up. I was thinking like cuz like there a part of my attraction to Philly is like the music scene. Like a lot of my favorite
Mm.
musicians are from Philly, have ties there. There's like a sound there that's like really dope that's come out of that neo soul, all that stuff. So I like really like am into that and I really like and so I think when I went there I was expecting to just like meet all these guys and like be like, oh man, like you should like you can do this and you can like be a musician and you should move here and you can do this and all that stuff and it didn't really happen like that at all, like at all, like nowhere close. And so I think I went there with that expectation of like my world opening up somehow musically and all that stuff, and it was like nah, not really. It was just kind of like I met some musicians, I did, but it wasn't like this like, overwhelming experience or like life changer. Like, oh, all this stuff is about to open up for you musically. It wasn't like that at all. Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Mm. Mhm. Yeah. Okay.
What about you? How was Colorado?
Colorado was great. Um, I would maybe not move there in a heartbeat, but that is like on my list of places to live long term. Um,
Hmm.
my issue though is like pretty much anything with middle America is like it's just white people. Like
Yeah.
I would just be hard
Especially where
pressed
you
to
want to go
like
at. Like it
right.
ain't even. Yeah.
I
Especially
mean,
there.
there were a lot of Hispanic people, which I was surprised to see that. But it was like
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I can especially like having kids, which I don't right now, but like whenever we start and like raising them and them going to school, like them just always being the minority and always like having to deal
Right.
with the stuff that comes with being a black kid or a kid of minority that's in a school of mostly white people. So,
Hmm.
or just even white culture, because I've experienced that in middle school. And like I used to say I wouldn't mind my kids having that experience, like I guess for a little bit, but if it's their whole career, I wouldn't want that for them because it's like
Yeah.
it's not fun,
Yeah.
like
It's
at all.
yeah.
And
I don't know if
so,
I would put my I don't know if I want to put my kid through it. But what were you about to say? What was I saying?
um, yeah, that was my thing. But if you're like, because I went there for mountain biking and mostly for mountain biking and just honestly to like be out west because I've never even been that far west. I've been to Las Vegas, but I was like
Mm-hmm.
16 at that time.
Word.
And so I'm like, I couldn't do anything and it was just hot. But, um, but yeah, it's beautiful. Like, um, I was talking to Tasha about it. Like, I think I talked to you about it too, but just seeing how much beauty is in the United States, just like all the
Yeah.
like natural occurrences, like all the canyons, all the like red rock, the forests, geysers, like all this stuff. We got so much stuff. And I just don't think we appreciate it enough. Just like the grandeur of all the things that we have. Because most people just want to go to like Dominican Republic and go to the beach.
Yeah, the beach. I hate the beach.
And
I'm not a fan of it personally. I sound
I am the same way.
yeah.
Like I spent the whole summer in Virginia Beach and like that was enough beach for the rest of my life. I've had enough.
I feel you, but I'm like I feel you because I grew up going to Florida every summer because we got family in Tampa. We went to
Mm,
like Tampa, Orlando every summer, so I was always around the beach. And I'm like, I got I've had enough. I've seen enough of the beach. It's no like if I do it
mm,
now, it had to be some really exotic beach that like
right,
once in a life, one of those type of things. Maybe
right.
go back out to Hawaii again. I would love to do that, but overall, like no, I'm cool on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
idea of a good
man.
time.
Cause man, like I'm a world traveler. You feel me? Like I've been to beaches in Italy and like beaches in
In
that's pretty much
India,
the only other place.
you been to
No,
Italy?
I don't think we've been to beaches in India. No, I didn't go to.
You,
Yeah, I
you,
did
you,
go to Italy.
when'd you go to Italy? I ain't never heard you.
Oh, I mean, I don't talk about it much. Um, I don't remember. I was like 14. It was like going
Um,
into my freshman year of high school.
oh, dang, that's how I know you ain't struggling. You went to
So
Italy,
whatever.
way back. That's crazy. That's
um,
crazy.
so yeah, I went to like just like it was a whole European tour. So we like went
Wow.
through like France, Germany, Italy, all like those more central. Besides Italy, that's southern, but Italy was my
Yeah.
favorite by far. But
No,
it's
I've heard
still,
the pictures I've seen. Italy's dope. Like, yeah, it looks really pretty.
yeah. Um, but yeah, unless it's like white sand beaches where it's like clear, crisp blue water. Like that's really the only beach I'd be interested in at this
There
point.
is a beach in Florida that I've been to. It's probably one of the prettiest beaches in America. Siesta Key. It's like a
The
little
Keys?
south. Yeah, but they're not
Eh,
the Florida. Are they the Florida Key? A part of Florida Keys? I don't know. It's called Siesta Key, but I don't know. I thought the Florida Keys were south, like by Miami. This isn't that south. It's just by
Uh,
Tampa. It's like an hour from Tampa. But it's
okay.
called Siesta Key. It's like white sand, clear water, all that stuff. Like best
Mm,
beach I've ever been to personally. But yeah, I'm good on the beach. I like the mountains a lot more. So,
yeah. Mountains are
but
dope.
I like brought all this up though because I feel like this is I don't know. I feel like our generation is kind of like a restless generation in general. I feel like I am. Like I'm part of that for sure. Like we're always looking to move or go to the next place or like, travel.
Mm,
And I don't know, but I don't necessarily know if that's a completely a bad thing necessarily because I think more than ever we have like the space and opportunity to like go and travel or live in a different place in the ways that maybe our parents or grandparents didn't. But at the same time, it's like I don't know if we know what we're looking for. I think we're just. I know that's true for me. Like I know I'm like always like thinking about leaving or moving somewhere. Thinking about like kind of always like the grass. That idea of the grass being greener. And I don't know. I think now I realize it's not. It's where you water, but at the same time, I still have that itch a lot of times to like just try something else out or move somewhere else different. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing per se, or even if that's how I should frame it. But yeah,
yeah. Yeah. I think it's like I used to think about that a lot in high school because I went to a like I mean, I'm sure it's the same at any high school, but I can only speak from my experience being like in the hood because Colonel White was very hood high school. My mom kind of didn't want me to go there. She only accepted it because my cousin was already there. So she was like, he's done okay. Like he's doing all right. So Kyle should be all right. And he's got somebody to look out for him.
right,
Um, but it's like everybody was always just like couldn't wait so they could like get out of the city and like get out of wherever they were.
yeah,
And like I started learning this. It's more a matter of inner peace, I think.
mm,
Because I think that is true. Like we do always want to go. Like wherever we're at is never good enough. Like we're sick of the people that we're around. We're sick of like the
yeah,
drama that we're around, whatever it is.
yeah,
And we just like think that if I move across country, all that's gonna go away. And I'm like,
right,
no, like it's because you're still gonna be there. Like if
yeah.
you're involved in that, there's some element of like
You're the common
you,
denominator. Yeah,
yeah. Um, and yeah, I don't think people like think introspectively on that stuff enough because they just look at everything as everybody else's fault. Everything is my environment's fault.
mm,
And not like if I go here, I'm still gonna have some of these issues because they didn't like
right,
actually root cause what those issues are, and they're just
yeah.
running away.
Facts. Nah, that's real. That's definitely real. And that's I think what I'm realizing like now, cause like Nashville is like a good city, but I don't like it, and I don't know why. But I think a lot of it's me. Part of it's me.
Hmm.
I think there is some aspects of Nashville that I would. prefer to be different, but I think a lot of it
Yeah.
is me because there's a lot of stuff here that is like what I want to do. Like I want to be a musician. This is a music city. They call this a music city for a reason, and it's not just because of country music. Like this is literally like a hub for musicians. Like I've been meeting a lot of people who are into more deeper into music, and I've been finding out all these like random people live here that are like really like Jill Scott lives in Nashville allegedly. I didn't
Does
go to
she?
her house. Yeah, but Jill India Ari lives here. They
Mm.
say India Ari lives here. They say a lot of gospel artists are always. I met Kirk Franklin's son. He lives here. I met him like a couple months ago.
The one he cussed out?
No, no, not. No, I knew that was gonna be the next question. No, not that one. The younger son. He got a younger son. That's a musician. He a
Okay.
drummer. But I met him like a couple months ago. He was really cool actually, really mad humble. But yes, a lot of people here, and like when I've gotten out, I've like met a lot of people who are. This is like a very when it comes to that, and like and I say if this is what I want to do, this would be a great place to be. But there's also a part of me that's like kind of nitpicking at it, like oh it ain't got this or it's not like this or it's because I think that's my issue with Nashville is like there's black people here, but it's not a very I don't find Nashville to be a very like soulful city. And I like that's what I like about Detroit or comparison to like Philly or even it's just a lot more soulful or more blacker and more of a
Mm.
black presence. Like black people are here, but everything that's pushed here is mainly like for white folks. A lot
Yeah.
of like the it's not a lot of spots for black people or anything any of that. And so I kind of see Nashville as kind of like too. It's like white to me, honestly. Like it's just kind of a really white city, and but it's nice. It's cool. There's like perks about it. There's like benefits and everything like that. But I'm still like wrestling through like, all right, is this a Nashville? Because it's probably a little bit of both. It's probably a Nashville thing, but it's also probably a me thing too. And so yeah, so I wanted to get your that's why I wanted to ask you your take about it because you just went out to Colorado and I know you said you had that was the place you had thought about maybe moving to. So I want to get
Yeah.
your take on that because you did the opposite of me. I've kind of lived in a few different places. You went to Detroit and you kind of just stayed. I mean, you didn't have to stay. You had nothing. You had really no ties there. I mean, outside of your
Right.
church. And so
Yeah.
I found that to be
Um,
interesting.
yeah, I think huh?
I ain't say
It
anything.
froze up again.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. I
Um
understand.
Nah, cause there was a point where I was considering moving, like probably like 3, 4 years ago.
Mhm.
Nah, I had to be more than that. Dang, I've been married that long. Shoot.
Yeah, you've been married 3 years.
So
Pretty cool.
maybe it was like 5 years ago. I had an opportunity that somebody was trying to recruit me to like go back to school and like move to like Chicago or Boston or something.
Oh,
Um,
word.
and I was like, that'd be dope. But I also didn't really want to go to school because I hate school. And um, somebody told me, Tyler actually, he was like, if you like are constantly just like moving around, like you tree, what did he say? Something about a tree. Like he was like, trees don't grow big and like produce fruit until they've like sat and like
Oh, been planted and everything.
yeah, and like had
Yeah,
roots for a while. And
yeah,
he's like, sometimes you gotta like see things through. And just like see what it's like there for a little bit. And
yeah.
I think also like finding or having people that are like helping develop you. And that's what I had in Detroit.
Mhm,
And I was like, if I go there, I might not necessarily find that.
mhm,
So I was like, I don't like besides like a career opportunity, like I didn't have any other reason to move to those places because it was like I was
mhm,
just like I hated my job and I just wanted something out. So I was like looking for any opportunity to like get out. But as I thought about it more, I'm like it may not be better. Like you said, the grass might not be greener if I
mhm.
go. I might not grow or develop in certain ways. But I'm
Yeah.
still like you can grow in other ways that is also like helpful. Like I feel like after I said what I originally said, like I thought of so many other ways where it like still is a good reason to go. Like even if you're not just like I don't think it's solely about like having inner peace or not having inner peace, but like um especially like if you're young and you don't really have any ties or connections to anything, like why not experience like as much as you can?
That's
Like
the team I'm on, obviously.
yeah. Cuz it's just like you're never going to have that opportunity again,
Yeah,
but it's still like either way, like all of that stuff is like I guess finding like the perfect harmony of
yeah. Cause I
like
uh
there's pros and cons to both.
cause I was thinking like to like Tyler's point, like I wonder, this is something I think about now, is like I wonder, because a regret I have, this is might sound weird. A regret I have is that I wish I would have like moved around sooner than I did. Because I think to the outside people think I moved around, but I didn't. I lived in Columbus for 2 3 years, and I lived in Cleveland another 2 years, and then I've been here for 2 years. So I haven't really bounced around that much. I mean, not really, to me at least. I don't know. But like honestly, I wish I would have moved around sooner or like get around. Like I feel like the time I spent in Columbus, especially I was a lot younger, and maybe it worked out how I was supposed to. But I feel like I would have wish I would have moved around a little bit sooner then. Honestly, I think at the time though I was like, I mean, that's a whole nother story. But at the time I was just really caught up in, I don't know, what people thought about me and just a lot of other stuff. And so yeah, I was afraid to make that move. But also to Tyler's point, I wonder, is it possible? This is something I think about too. Is it possible to move around but still be grounded? Like it's kind of like the inner peace you talk about. Like, is there a possibility
Mhm.
that you can be a person that's grounded internally, and so no matter where you move to or where you live at, like that doesn't really matter because of who you are
Yeah.
and internally. And I feel like that's kind of been my experience personally. That's kind of been the type of person I've been, or the how it's worked out for me. I feel like I think the area I could grow in most is like in community and having like people around me and like having more people like in terms of mentorship. But at the same time, I feel like I could what why you no I feel what
My sister was calling me
oh
and I just kept ignoring it and I said I can't answer right now. So she texted me and said, "Tell Valerian I'm coming for him."
from coming
So
from
I
you.
guess she listened to it and
Oh,
she listened to the
hey, tell her, whoa, we could work this out. Tell her I'll send her the 13.99. Tell her I'll send it to her right now.
Okay, but
uh,
that means nothing. She can't go buy it. I guess she
yes,
can
she
now,
can. Yeah, it's out.
but she couldn't for the past 2 decades
She didn't
almost.
even know it was gone.
I know, that's what's funny.
but nah, I forget what I was saying. I think that's been my experience, is that like just that I think as much as I've moved around and lived in a lot of different places, I've met a lot of people everywhere. I think I've always been like the same person no matter where I've gone. You know what I mean? I haven't really. I mean, I think I've been grounded in the sense of who I am as a person. I mean, I've changed in some regards. I've grown in some ways, but I feel like I've still like, if you know, if people run into me who knew me 6 5 6 7 years ago, I'm like, oh, he's the same dude for the most part. I think for me, just moving around, living, I don't know, it energizes me in some ways. So I don't know, it's something that, so I feel like this will be a lifelong thing for me in some ways or another. Uh, Sneeze attack.
No, I burped.
Oh,
You I didn't know you were gonna ask what happened.
it looked like a sneeze attack. Um, but yeah,
I mean, so what, like, what is it gonna take? Like, say you think that might be a part of like who you are even into the future. Like, do you want to like have kids, start a family, all that stuff?
eventually, I'm not pressed though, but eventually I do. About my mid 30s, into like late 30s, I think I'll start like settle like having children, popping kids out, getting pregnant.
I know. So like, do you plan to do that with them too?
Oh,
Like,
like living, moving around.
yeah.
I not necessarily moving around, but I do want to. I want them to be well traveled, so I do want to take them on adventures and stuff. So I
Mm,
might not like live in a bunch of place with them, like with kids, because kids you kind of got to be a little more settled. That's something I do understand, which is why I'm getting a
yeah.
lot of this moving out now. But I do want them to be. I want them to be well traveled, like I was, how I got to travel a lot as a kid. And so I do want that for them. I want to take them a lot of places and
Mm,
show them places and never let them get like think all that there is all they see. You know what I mean?
mm.
Um, so that's kind of like more in line with how I think with kids. But yeah.
So what do you think it is that gives you that inner peace? Because you say you feel like you've been like confident and like kind of steady in who you are, even when you're going in different places.
I think for me it's always that I like it's more so I guess. That's a good question. But I think for me it's like whenever I go into a new environment, I'm not looking to be changed by the environment, if that
Mm,
makes sense. I am looking to learn, I am looking to grow. It's possible I might change, but I'm looking to kind of like I kind of absorb stuff, if that makes sense. Like when I was in Philly, like I'm still gonna be me. I'm Valerian, but I'm also like a sponge too. Does that make sense? So when I go to places, it's kind of like I'm me, but I'm also absorbing like all that this is. I'm absorbing this city, not like in the sense of I'm taking it all and I'm about to become a like act like I'm from Philly. No, but just I'm absorbing what the people are like. Like that's kind of the joy. That's like the what I like out of traveling or getting and going to different places. It's like learning. I feel like I'm like this like quasi sociologist or something where I'm going and I'm kind of just a sponge. Like I'm just taking it in. I'm taking in everything that I see. I'm taking in the people, the places, the smells. I'm taking it all in, and I'm just kind of like just absorbing it. But I'm just yeah, I'm still me though. I still have my values and I still have my like who I am. That's not changing at all. But I'm this experience is only adding to who I am and just kind of like oh that's interesting. They do it like this here, and it's an experience. It's like oh okay, this is what they do here. This is I learned this in Philly. They have this or this. I met somebody here that they told me about this, and it's like oh, war. I would have
mm,
never, you know what I mean, things like that. So I think that's kind of
yeah.
how, yeah,
So you saying that to me, it sounds like just traveling.
yeah,
Like that's what people like about traveling. But
yeah.
I mean, in terms of like actually like wanting to move somewhere else, like what has made you like comfortable with like not feeling like you need to do that all the time?
What has made me comfortable? I think for one, it's maturing. It's like just understanding that it doesn't matter where you go, the problems that you have, particularly internally, are going to still be there. Even the problems you don't have internally, like if it's a problem like you owe some money, it's going to still be there when you go to this other place, whatever the case is. So it's like
Yeah.
no, it's not like you can't really run from your problems. I think that's like one thing I've learned, especially just the older I get, is like moving somewhere isn't that's not going to change anything. And I think I've realized even at 30 is that I would be very content. Like I'll be content staying in Nashville if I could also still travel a lot and still move around and go to different places and still that's kind of more so what it is for me. I think at the root of even me wanting to move places is like just wanting to travel and feeling like I'm a caged bird when I'm in a place too long, or I'm like just there and I'm not able to like go to other places, other cities, and kind of absorb. And like, because traveling, it like it does a lot for me. Like, it energizes me in a way, it inspires me in a lot of ways, it does a lot.
Yeah.
And so I think for me, that's like, I think I would be very content with that type of lifestyle where if I'm in once, if I just stay, I'm in Nashville the rest of my life, I don't think that's gonna happen. But if I'm here the rest of my life and I'm just still get to travel and bounce around and go to all these different places, I'd be very content with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds about right. I mean, I th- I thought I don't know what I thought. Never mind. That's enough.
We'll see. Oh, what were you?
Yeah, I don't like I had some other questions, but I kind of lost them as you were like talking about stuff. So
oh.
there will probably be a lot of that on this podcast.
This is the last episode.
Probably. It probably will be. I'm gonna lose subscribers on my channel after they see this.
Losing subscribers is crazy. Because who really unsubscribed? I mean, people could, but I've never heard of that. Somebody being like, I lost all these subscribers to my
Nah,
YouTube
so
channel.
I have seen it. Like I've seen usually when people talk about it, they're talking about like they're kind of like making fun of those people who are like will put in the comments like you said such and such, you've lost a subscriber, and then they'll be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, big whoop, dang,
Yeah,
I just
yeah, yeah.
lost all these subscribers. Now my
Right.
life sucks. They're just like,
Right.
no, it doesn't. My life's great. Thanks.
Yeah.
I can't wait till I get to that point, honestly, when people are like commenting and like saying negative things. Like that is the fuel to my fire.
uh,
Because the irony is them leaving that comment is like adding more engagement to my video and my channel. So it's actually making me more money. So I'm like, thank you, because that actually
mm,
helps me grow. So can't wait.
mm.
When I get to that point, I know I've made it. Even if I'm not making a lot of money. Like that's how I know I'm on the way.
Word. You're
I have had
polarizing.
somebody say that on one. They were like, the way that you pronounce this word lets me know you don't even know what that is. I was like, okay, whoever you are. So, lo and behold, the grass isn't always greener, boys and girls. That's the moral of the story. Uh,
I don't like you. I don't like this segment. I don't like you. I don't like how you just tried to sum that up like we was on some doggone talk show. I don't like any of this. I do not like any. I cannot work under these environment. I can't.
No, you got any more thoughts on it?
I don't. We can move on.
Wait, I'm sorry. I feel like we need to have a conversation now. Like,
No, I'm messing. I don't really have any more thoughts. I think we kind of summed it up. We got to it. Leave us some comments though and thoughts about that. Are you looking to move cities soon? Because I always hear somebody announcing they moving to Atlanta. So who's moving to Atlanta? If you're moving to Atlanta, comment. Let us know how we can support you or talk you out of it.
mm,
If I'm moving anywhere, it's to Houston, but that's neither here nor there.
that I thought of it. I'm gonna just do it. Speaking, I think Atlanta is a good segue into the next topic.
Okay.
Um, you sent me an article of Lil Nas X wearing a dress. Because that's what you're gonna see when you move to Atlanta.
I don't know if it's that bad. I will. Yeah, I don't know. It
I've been there several times. I've seen
yes.
things. Um, what made you put it in the document?
Well, did you see the Russell Westbrook one too? Picture too.
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I was more surprised seeing Russell Westbrook, but
Right.
um, yeah, that's it. What are your thoughts?
This is gonna be the last episode. We about to get canceled. No, I'm playing. No, I'm playing. Actually, I don't care that much, but I was like, it has been like this hot button topic, and I don't know. I do think there is a lot of hypocrisy that comes from like hyper masculine men when it comes to this topic, right? Because they'll be like,
Mhm.
Little Nas X is why I don't want my kids seeing that, but they're comfortable with their kids seeing a naked woman or seeing a
Mm.
half naked woman or watching performances of women dancing seductively or sexually and all that stuff. They're fine with all that. But if
Mhm.
this homosexual, this gay kid comes out and he's performing and he's doing things that might not be comfortable for you, obviously, as a heterosexual male, but
Right.
you're still kind of there's all this like I think low key kind of fake outrage. It's kind of like it's real, but it's fake to me because it's like you're being hypocritical. Like, and you make crazy music yourself. A lot of
Mm.
these artists, so I think that's kind of what I was why I brought it up because I honestly do not care what he does or how he dresses or whatever. But I do think there's a lot of hypocrisy around what he's doing. And I also think like I mean on the flip side, even in terms of him, like he can do whatever he wants to do, but I also think it like ultimately and maybe he's not a I don't know. I think a lot of it that is distracting from his actual art and his music too. You know what I mean? Like it's ultimately because at some point,
Mm.
like after all, I'm not saying those are like I'm not saying what he's doing is like what.
I said I disagree, but I was letting you finish your thought.
Oh, I I was what's the publicity stunt? That's what I was thinking. The word I was thinking of. Like
Mm.
I feel like after all these publicity stunts, because they kind of are publicity stunts on some level. It's like after
Mhm.
that, like your music is what's gonna like keep you around. Maybe unless he just becomes this like maybe he becomes bigger than music, which is possible. Or it's kind of like Cardi B thing where his music is just one thing he does, and he's like just a personality, and he's doing all this other stuff. Which that's that could possibly be the case too. But yeah, where are you? What are you saying? What are you
Yeah.
disagreeing on?
So I think it's crazy you say that because he like absolutely already is just like a cultural icon. Like
Yeah,
he's already much bigger than his music. Um, so all that to be said, um, I love Lil Nas X. Like he is absolutely my role model. I have several role models. He's one of them for the reason that I hope to one day be as confident in who I am as he is. Like it takes a lot of balls to do what he does, both
true.
figuratively and literally.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, so it's just like so it is that aspect of like just the pure confidence. Like if I had that level of confidence, um I feel like I would have made it by now. Like I got like I sit and like sit on my hands on so many things. Like I have so many ideas that just run through my head. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to make this. But then I like just twiddle my thumbs and like don't make things. And like I was talking to Leon, Pastor Leon, about this earlier today of like he's like, Kyle, I just think you need to really focus on just like the the idea of like getting things out of your head, getting your ideas out of your head and like into a video or into whatever, just like producing the things that you're thinking about because it was like
Right.
I really think you could like make something happen with all the things that you do. And yeah, so it was like me knowing like some of Lil Nas X's background and like how he's basically really dictated his like whole rise and what he did because he started off on TikTok. I don't know if you knew that.
I don't know much
Um,
about his background, honestly. I just knew
yeah, so
the country song that went crazy. That
yeah,
was
so
my introduction.
that's what
Old Town
happened. Like he
Road. I
started
couldn't
that
think of the
on
name.
TikTok.
Ah,
And but like he did a lot of things to he like did a lot of stuff just to like make that popular on
hmm
TikTok and then it blew up and became the biggest song in like the country or some I don't know, whatever. But it
right.
worked. And I think he has this innate ability to be able to see like things that are going on in culture and like tap into those very well and it just like works every time. Although like his music, I don't really listen to his music for real, but like just him like who he is. Also, number 2 reason is he is he has perfected the art of trolling. And
His
that's
Twitter is
why
great. I will give him that. His tweets are
like
so clever. Yeah.
he said um like I remember when it was like a little bit after he came out and said he was gay and
Mm.
like people were just like going in because like I'm sure there were people that was like really rocking with that song at some point and then he said he was gay and they were like what I can't listen to this I've been listening to
Mm.
this gay man this whole and like that's just how
Right.
dudes be
Right.
and so he said something one of his tweets was like if somebody else complained about me being gay I'm gonna kiss him or something like I was like, it's hilarious. Something like that. That might this is not verbatim because I don't remember it, but it was something like that. And
His
but
trolling is
like
hilarious.
my
He's good.
desire
Uh,
to be an internet troll. Huh?
no, go ahead. You keep going. What are you
Um
saying?
my desire to be an internet troll. Like I don't think I could be nearly as good as him. Like when he came out, I don't know if you've seen his like pregnancy pictures.
I was gonna
Like
bring that up. Yeah.
he like was
Yeah.
having a baby. I saw it and I was just like, Tasha, he's brilliant. Like like the way that he comes at because I also like that's also what he stands for. Like, I mean, I have like some conflicting views with that, but like how he comes at the systems of um like church folk and stuff and he's just
Yeah.
like I mean there's like stuff that I wouldn't touch like I'm not going against forces of like spirit like his whole like dancing
Yeah.
on Satan stuff like
Yeah.
that's like too far but again he like does that to troll people that used to shame him or used to like have all these negative experiences with so he's just trolling these people that are like also hurting all these people because he's standing for like the LGBTQ
Right.
plus stuff. I hope I got that right. That
It's the
me trying
elemental
to
P
say that.
community.
Yep, we're getting canceled. This is the last episode. That was it right there. Um, but yeah, so like all those reasons, I'm like, Lil Nas X is brilliant. Um, So I root for him. That being said, um, the dresses, whatever he wore was hideous. Like, I was actually, like, reading the article and, like, people were upset that she was like, I don't like it." Like, and people are like, "How dare you say you don't like something?" And I'm like, "Why can't she say she don't like what he's wearing?" She didn't say it explicitly, but you know that's what she meant.
Right.
I'm like, if anybody else wore it, it wouldn't be like, "Oh, this is nice."
Right.
That would be on the do not list of like,
He ain't have titties. Titties would have really filled out his outfit. He just ain't have. That's what I was like. You missing some. You gotta get some titties, no Lil Nas, if you gonna wear stuff like that.
but
You can't be flat chested with all that showing all that chest. You can't. You really can't. He gonna have to get some titties if he gonna do that again next time.
you see, but that's like going into the thing of like how dudes think that like gay dudes just want to be women, but like it's not the case. Like he don't want to be, he don't want to have titties. Like he's a
Right.
man.
Right.
He just because like that's like always the thing. Like I don't know why don't just get a sex change if he going to be with a man. But it's like that.
I've literally heard people close to me say that verbatim. I'm literally, oh
Right.
man.
Then I've heard that so much. And it's just like, I mean, and I feel in some ways I've thought that way in the past too, but it's like I now understand that some people they want to be like with the same sex regardless. I shouldn't say regardless. They just want to be with the same sex. Like
Right,
they like being who they are, but they also like other men or they like other women. And
right.
that is like super uncomfortable for a lot of people.
And it's
And
also, I think, and it's weird. I'm still kind of like growing in how I think about it, but I'm learning that like that stuff is like a spectrum of things. Like femininity and masculinity are not necessarily black
mm,
and white. You know what I mean? And I
right.
think we try to like frame it as black and white, but I think it tends to be a little more gray, a little more like mixed. So like if somebody like Lil Nas X, there might be aspects of him that are very masculine that identify being very masculine. But there might be other aspects that are very feminine and very, other that identify with femininity in certain ways. But I think we try to like box people in and be like, all right, if you're a man, you gotta, be masculine, stay in this box, and if you're feminine, stay in this box. Which is how you get comments like, well, he might as well, cut his penis off, which, whoa. But
Right.
yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm
And I
learning.
think, yeah, that goes with like the Russell Westbrook, like him wearing that skirt.
Right.
Um, and I'm just like, I can see dudes just going off about it. And to me, I'm just like, it's whatever. Like, I kind of think it's the same with like Jaden Smith, like when he was doing that stuff and people was like up in arms, like, oh man, he gay. And I'm just like, I mean, he's not. Like, if you actually listen to him talk about why he does these things, he's like trying to normalize some of these like toxically masculine like norms. Even like women have those same things. Like I've heard plenty of women say things that are just like, what? Like, why do you think that as a woman? Why do you think a
Yeah.
man should be this also?
Yeah.
Because it is like things are a lot more fluid, especially if you're like involved in other cultures. Most people just haven't really experienced other cultures. Like
Yeah. True.
a lot of Asian cultures are very like fluid when it comes to femininity. Like
And European too. Not as fluid,
it,
but their fashion can be a little bit, and men can be a little more like I wouldn't say
yeah,
if more effeminate, I will say, but not gay. They're not gay. They're just more like their
right.
fashion is a little more effeminate. Yeah, but yeah,
Like even like K-pop and like all that stuff. Like they'll like dudes that just be walking holding hands and like that's just like what they do. Like they're just a very friendly, like touchy-feely culture.
But
Um,
do you think
you
that
know,
that's a byproduct too, though, of like I don't, because I hate this argument, but it is like there's some credence to it. Do you think like black people, or particularly black men, have our own set of like we still have to work through our own masculinity? That's what I kind of think has to happen. Is like
mm,
I don't think we just have never been able to feel comfortable in our own skin or our own masculinity. Does that make sense?
mm,
Like we just
yeah,
can't. Like I don't know. We've always felt. At least I guess I should say for me, but I feel like I've always felt pressure to either have to be hyper masculine or have I have to portray a certain exude a certain level of whatever to kind of show that I'm a man. This is what men do. Where I feel
yeah,
like other races of men can kind of just be who they are or whatever. They can, I mean, you hung around a lot of white dudes. They can do a lot of crazy. They do a lot of what we would consider suspect things to each other and
mhm.
picking around and playing and everything like that. That like in the black
Dude,
community.
dude, I just like put a carrot in his butt.
Yeah.
He fell asleep.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Dave Chappelle, friend of the
right.
podcast.
Yeah. Another shout out to him. Uh, but yeah, no, stuff like that is like we're not as comfortable with. That doesn't mean we're not accepting, because I do think we are. I think black men are more accepting than people will think or say or whatever. But I don't know if we're as comfortable or as necessarily have
You
been
you
given
mean
the
in general?
what.
Black men are more accepting in
Well, I
general?
think
Like in
we're not as like bigoted as sometimes we're portrayed. Is my point. I'm not saying
mm,
we're just these like we lead the pride parade. I ain't say all that. I didn't say that. But I do think we're not as like I don't think we're as as bigoted as sometimes we're portrayed. But I also think though we're we haven't given ourselves, or maybe I don't know if it's us we have to give, or society or whatever, but we're kind of in a box within our own masculinity. And I don't know if it's a box we created it or society created it, but it's a box nonetheless. And I think we do have to work to kind of get ourselves out of that and kind of just be more secure in our masculinity. But I think there's a lot of things that go into why that is too, though. If that makes sense.
yeah. I do. I would agree with that. Cause like you said, yeah, like white dudes, they they do so much stuff. I don't know. Yeah, and I don't know why it is so different. Like as you were saying, I'm thinking like why? Um, and the the Dr. Umar in me is saying it goes back to slavery, but
Yes.
I don't know if it does. Like, I mean, I think it still potentially could. Um,
Yeah.
but it is interesting. Because I think there are some other cultures that are like that also. Like, um,
True.
I can't. I was gonna like name some, but I don't know for sure on
I was
those.
gonna say Middle Eastern. They can be pretty tough.
That's what I was thinking too. But
Yeah,
I
they
was
can be
like,
pretty.
I'm not trying to be on their radar. This is terrible. Yeah, we're getting canceled for sure. This is gonna be shut
Just
down
don't go to
before it even gets on a
Dearborn.
roll.
Don't go to
Huh?
Dearborn. That's all. Just stay out of Dearborn. That's all. You'll be fine. Just don't cross over there. Mhm.
I Now that you say that, I don't think I've ever seen like a gay Middle Eastern dude.
That is
I
a
can't
fact.
rec
I
I
haven't.
can't
I know I
recall
haven't.
ever seeing or like meeting somebody that was.
I I don't think I have. But then again, I don't know a lot of Middle Eastern people. But the ones I've met weren't none of, to my knowledge, I should
Hmm.
say. Were.
Yeah, that's true. That's interesting.
Mm.
Anyway, yeah, but I think you're right. I just don't even know where to like continue that conversation on like black
That's a
men like
whole
being
nother
overly
episode.
masculine.
That's a whole nother episode. We're gonna call get him on here. Sorry.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, you don't?
I wasn't gonna admit it at first, but when you
Oh,
laughed,
that joke
I
would
was
have
like,
hit
maybe
so
that
much
means
harder. I thought
something.
you know who it is, but I'm not gonna say on air. Right? Well, he won't listen to
Okay.
this. I don't remember the dude from Saab.
Did we go to school with him?
Yeah, the dude from
Okay,
Saab
then I
who was
think I
getting
know who
into
you're
it with
talking
Trey.
about.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right. That's who I was thinking a little bit when you started laughing. Nah, we need to get Andrew Caldwell. That's who we need.
What? Well, he said he ain't. He not part of the community no more. But he actually would be somebody good to talk to.
That's what I'm saying. That's
I want to
why.
reach out to Andrew. I'm actually like, I do want to do interviews on here. I'm about to reach out to Andrew. I'm gonna DM him. I'm like, hey man, what's up? How you do podcast interviews? We the #1 rated podcast between the hours of 8 and 9 on the second Tuesday of September.
And that still ain't true.
Come check us out, bruh. Come check us out.
That's funny. All right. I think it's time. This has been long.
Okay. Closing time.
Dang
Black
it.
Alumni
We
was
still didn't
announced.
do the thing.
Oh,
I
the
forgot
beat.
again.
Oh, next week. We'll get them back next week. We've been here for a while.
This has been a while. I have no idea where we're going. All right. Thank you everybody for joining. Be sure to follow Valerian. Valerian.Riddle.
Just Riddle, no dot. No dot.
Valerian Riddle on all social media platforms. Follow Too Often Dreamer and Mind Tide on YouTube. It's a great time. Also, help us figure out a name for this podcast because we have no idea.
We'll name this later, but help us out. Give us a name.
Yeah. All right. I'm out.
All right, then.